What up, YouTube Alayaks? Come back at you with another custom StarCraft 2 cast. Today we are casting a best of 3 matchup featuring the ultimate Mode of Erls Reloaded. This is a mod that adds 30 new playable races to the StarCraft universe. It's absolutely insane. Let's go ahead and introduce our players, and then we'll talk a little bit more about this mod. Spawning on the top right-hand side of the map, it's our blue combined Brood player, SharkFavorit, going up against his opponent. Spawning on the left-hand side of the map, it's our red Refugees player. We'll call him DJ for short because those are just letters, and I cannot say that. So I've tried my best to familiarize myself with these two races specifically because going over 30 races is just a lot. So the combined Brood are obviously a Zerg variant. If you could not already tell, they have the Overmind as their center of command, and then we have, for the expansions, we have Birtheries instead of Hatcheries, and we have 4 different kinds of Brood, effectively. So Elith is one, and each one has their own ups and downs. I'll point them out as they become relevant. Now, the Refugees, they are kind of like, I don't know how to describe them, almost like a Frostpunk kind of race. If you guys have played Frostpunk, basically you have like civilians, they're technically workers, and they have to man these vehicles. They also have to man like mech suits, and also they have kind of like discontent that you have to manage. So if you have homeless workers, they can actually revolt against you. As far as I know, the Refugees are still more or less a work in progress. Oh, one other thing I want to mention. So these are not Zerglings, these are Smallings technically, and because Elith is on the map, they have Cliff Jumper, I believe, and they also have, as we can see right here, Curiosity, which is a buff from Elith. This unit is buffed by Elith. It has 25% increased damage against structures and a 4 detection radius. That is super, super cool. Now, these Braziers are doing so much damage to the Smallings. This is actually a great opener from DJ. You can also summon temporary units for defense. So we have Hunter Killers, which are being spawned by either the Birthery or the Overmind itself. Now, what else do we have? We have the spawning pool, which obviously, I believe, allows us to spawn these Smallings, and now they are running across the map to do some damage to the Refugees player. Now, let's go to the Refugee side of the map, because we will see Zerglings here shortly, or Smallings, I should say. Now, as we can see, most of the civilians are housed, or I guess workers and scientists, and there we go, right there. And they just evacuated, or not evacuated, I guess they hid into the buildings so that they would not die. And as we can see as well, we have the Brazier, and down here we can see that there's an unload worker option. So there you go. You have to man those things. Also, I just love that these are cliff jumping Zerglings. That is so sick. We do have the Refuge Cannon, which did come from our construction site. You can spawn, I believe, 2 of them. And this is a lot of Smallings running across the map. I believe they only have 25. No, they have 15 HP. So these Braziers are doing a lot of damage for the Smallings running across the map, but a lot of them do go through. And now we are looking at what is a potential disaster on the red side of the map. These Smallings running all over the place. We do have jumpers as well, which I believe came from the militia barracks. Yep, right there. We have jumper. Construct jumper armor, which is then manned by a worker. That is such a cool concept. That is so sick, actually. So I'll try to keep an eye on the discontent. Actually, let me... Oh, there we go. Right here. This guy's discontented. He's angry. He's revolting. And we have some military action to correct that behavior, which is unfortunate for them, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do in times of war, I guess. These Braziers are still alive. That is really good. I don't know what happens to the worker manning the object. I assume that it dies with it, especially if it's like a vehicle that explodes. We'll see if we can catch that. Here we go. These Smallings, though. Great kiting by DJ, actually. Keeping these Braziers alive is actually insane for how damaged they are, especially the second one in the back right here. And there we go. Oh, no, actually, the worker survives, but probably not for long. And there it goes. It does go down. This worker goes down almost instantaneously. So, yeah, this is such a unique mod. I'm trying so hard to keep up with all the little changes. And let's see. So we have, I believe, more Broods on the other side of the map as well. Let's take a look, actually, and see if we can find them. We have a sustenance tower. Nope, that's not a Brood. Here we go. We have Lagoth, which is a Brood. Gives, let's see what it gives. It gives royalty. So when he's on the map, all units gain 50% energy regeneration, 1 range, and 3 sight range. Okay, interesting, interesting. So right now we're seeing just a lot of smallings, but dude, this is crazy. Honestly, I feel like DJ has to start doing some damage, though, because he hasn't expanded at all. To be fair, I don't know how much the, the refugees need to expand, to be fair. Both players are doing a good job at spending their money at this point in the game. Oh, we also have, I believe those are, they're not called locusts. I looked this up, actually. So these are temporary units that are spawned by, let's see, right here, Abathur's Chamber. He spawns, let's see, right here, Master's Call, create 25 wild carrions. So these are called carrions. So as a defensive protocol, you can summon carrions in the area. Wild carrions can attack air and ground, non-structures, and automatically target an enemy in 100 range radius. And they live for about 30 seconds. Not bad at all. We also have the Siege Blimp. This thing is super sick. So unfortunately, we can't see its range because we can only see, you know, the workers that it's loaded up. But this thing is built from, I believe, the Colonial Assembly. Is that right? Yep, right here. Assemble Siege Blimp. And it holds, how many units does it hold, actually? Let's take a look. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, okay, so it holds up to 10 workers. And I'm assuming the more workers you have, the more damage it does, would be my guess. So also one thing to consider is to mine, you have to have workers in the maintenance vehicle. So literally this whole race revolves around workers. We have a Titan as well. This is giving me such Warhammer vibes, bro. That is actually insane. It's almost like a Dreadnought. I had to pause for a moment to look that up because I totally forgot. But it reminds me a lot of a Dreadnought, especially because it does have a worker in there. More carrions over this entire red army, doing a lot of damage, but a lot of these units do survive. These Hive Lords, I think, were hotkeyed, unfortunately. These are basically just overlords. Oh, man. We only have one expansion for Shark, but to be fair, I don't know these players' familiarity with these specific races. Like I said, you know, 30 races, that's absolutely insane. Oh, this is a dampener field, by the way. That is from our, not our servicemen. Here we go. Oh, yes, our servicemen. So, dampening cloud. So, what this does, creates a cloud that lasts 30 seconds. Enemies inside of it lose 50% movement speed, and I think some other stuff. Let's actually see. So, the original plan for Sidewave generator colonies was to remove psionic capabilities of all their inhabitants. If it could be done, this gas would have been in a much lesser concentration while emergency psi neutralization took effect. Okay. Oh, so they're unable to use Cloak as well, or Psionic Energy. So it basically disables units and slows them down for 50% speed. Right there, dampened. Nice. Very nice. Interesting. And I love the animation on the blimp as well. The little spotlights just add a nice touch. But this is looking kind of scary, I feel like, for Shark. I mean, taking a look at the units, we have technically 5 maintenance vehicles, which, you know, I don't really know how that compares to 27 drones, but, or workers. I don't think these are called drones. They are called underlings. So there is still work to be done on this mod as far as I know. I mean, like I said, the refugees are not necessarily finished from what I've read. I think this is technically considered a secret race because you can't select it from the menu. You actually have to select it in different ways. So there's like an option to select every race that's available at the start of the game, and that's how you select the refugees. But we have a lot of Titans right here, and this is looking really scary for Shark, man. The birthery does go down. Now it's officially 1 base to 1 base, but I mean, I don't really know how that compares. What is this? A Mars Elemental? That thing looks crazy. How much damage does it do? 11 damage, 15 versus armored, and versus structure 11. Okay, they're basically Void Rays. What is this ability? Encase. Despite their unknown nature... Okay, you guys, I'm sorry, let me pause and just read this. So, despite their unknown nature, the elementals have always possessed mysterious psionic powers. Ones on Mars specifically have a powerful ray and ability to slowly drain life by encasing multiple enemies. Encasing is a detector and has sight range of its own. Okay, interesting. So I guess when you encase something, you get sight on it, almost like what like an Oracle would do. But here we go, Shark leaving the game, giving game number 1 to DJ. Stay tuned, and I'll see you guys for game number 2. All right, you guys, welcome to game number 2 in our best of 3 series. Let's go ahead and reintroduce our players. Spawning on the top left-hand side of the map, it's our red Refugees player, DJ. Going up against his opponent, spawning on the bottom right-hand side of the map, is our combined Brood player, SharkFavorit. Now, DJ did win game number 1, so if he wins game number 2, that is it for our best of 3 series. But man, I love the design on this Overmind. It is so, so sick. Now, we'll see if we can keep more of an eye out for how the Refugees operate, because I feel like we didn't really capture that too much in game number 1. But take a look at this. So as we can see, this worker is homeless. This person is homeless. Dissatisfaction will raise by 1 every 15 seconds. Now, as far as I know, we don't see it in the, the replay UI, but there's like a dissatisfaction meter. And I guess at some point, workers will start to revolt and do damage to your own buildings if you don't take care of them. So you have to house them. There are options to, like, feed them, I think. You can, here we go, exactly what we just saw. I think that's motivate with food. So encourage workers to be more active with extra rations. Very cool, very cool. Anyway, we see a Brazier. Oh, no. Wait a minute. How many workers just died? 5 workers. So the Brazier in the natural base location, taking out a lot of the economy for Shark already. Now, Shark does have another Birthery on the way in the 3rd base location, so he's going for more of a greedy playstyle for game number 2. Oh, that's so sick. I didn't realize that the cliff jumping also works with workers. That is actually so sick. That opens up the door for so many things for the combined Brood player. I mean, you can move across the map way more efficiently. You can actually saturate your 3rd base way more effectively. Just run your workers to this cliff. And, oh, that is so sick. And I believe that comes from Elith, I believe is what that was called. Yep, Elith. So this will be interesting. We have a lot of smallings running across the map, and they are cliff jumpers. So if DJ's familiar with the combined Brood race, he should realize that, this is an option for our Zerg variant. And here we go. These smallings making themselves known, running up the cliff. That is actually so ridiculously insane. The refugee cannons are down, and these workers are running for their lives. They cannot do any damage if they're not manning anything. Luckily, though, these refugee cannons, or refuge cannons, technically do a lot of damage. But this is not looking too great. Oh, no. So, also one thing that is something to keep in mind, I suppose, is that the Vespene pacifiers, they send money to you directly, like Vespene gas, but you need to have 4 workers manning them to have them operational. If there's no workers in them, they will not give you any money. Looks like the siege blimp is already finished, but look at the mini-map, man. The natural base is totally screwed, but it looks like these workers are stuck in the Vespene geyser, so they are safe. That is actually hilarious, but look at how much blue is on the mini-map. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. The siege blimp, though, luckily is a flying unit, so it is safe from these smallings, but at this point, if Shark just overruns his opponent, he could do some serious economical damage. Oh, I love that spotlight. That is such a cool animation. I already said it once, but that is so sick. I don't know what we just witnessed there, but it looks like a lot of the smallings just went down instantaneously. I don't know if it's the combatter. Maybe, like, left a mine or something. I could be wrong. Anyway, Xhromosoma, he is the developer, I believe, that took over development on this mod. Big shout out, by the way. Let me know what we just witnessed with those smallings all dying at once. I don't know if that was like a bomb or what, but we missed it. More workers on the field. Some of them are manning the siege blimp. Siege blimp's actually totally packed. And here we go. We have revolting workers. This is not the time to be revolting. This is not in your interest. We have so many smallings on the way. This is insane. How many do we have, actually? We have 72 smallings. I mean, keep in mind, they only have 15 HP, but there's 71 of them. That is crazy. This colonial assembly will be going down. Now, it looks like DJ is kind of stuck He's kind of stuck in his own base, but this is exactly what you want to be doing. You want to be doing some economical damage at this point because, I mean, you're basically being contained in your own base. You have to do some damage. Oh, and the Carrions can actually be spawned anywhere on the map. That is actually crazy. Oh, wow. Okay, that is a really cool ability, actually. So you can spawn those temporary units anywhere you want, I guess, from, what was it, Lagoth, I believe, or Abathur. No, it was Abathur, right? Yeah, Master's Call. Yeah, dang. That is crazy cool. This Siege Blimp is still alive with 10 workers. And the Siege Blimp also looks sick, man. That is such cool design. Anyway, let's take a look at how many workers were killed. So 14 workers killed by Red in this game. That's not bad at all. So despite the fact that he's contained in his main base, was able to sneak a flying unit out because there's like really not a lot of anti-air for our blue player outside of the hunter killers, which are spawned from our mining structures. What is this? The Bloodlisk Den. So the Bloodlisk is basically a Hydralisk equivalent, excuse me, for the combined brood. We have a lot of Smallings, though, and they are running across the map. This is crazy. Oh, no. And there's not a lot of defense here either. And at the same time, the workers are revolting. This is literally not the time to be revolting, my guy. That is hilarious. How many workers killed? 25 workers killed by Red. That is crazy. I don't know if the kill counter counts the maintenance vehicles, though, to be fair. Oh, and the Siege Blimp does go down. All 10 workers do die in that destruction. That is wild. Oh, interesting. So the Colonial Assembly is actually what you use for mining. Oh, for mining minerals, and you can actually build it right next to the... Oh, that's crazy. You can build it right next to the mineral patches. That's pretty wild. We have a Titan that just made entry to this game along with Servicemen. This is straight up Warhammer. This is like the, you know, like the Space Marines with the Dreadnoughts. That is so cool. I mean, to be fair, these are workers. These aren't like dead or dying Space Marines that are, you know, entombed in the Dreadnought, which is a crazy concept. But they are doing so much damage to these Smallings. At this point in the game, I think Shark has to start thinking about building some other units outside of Smallings. The Carrions are also going down almost instantaneously. This Combator is glowing. I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was the Plasma Coder. Unfortunately, we can't see what it does, but I suspect it's some sort of buff for the weapon, for that, I guess, I don't know, power suit. And the Bloodlisks, man, look at them. They are so cool looking. So currently we have 2 buffs on these Zerg variant units. We have the Curiosity buff from Elith, and we have the Royalty buff from Lagoth or Lagoth. There is an attack at the third base location for the combined brood player. All these workers going down. That was insane. Great use with the dampener, slowing down those workers as well. 40 workers killed total this game by the Red player. We have a choke point here as well. Dampener on the choke point. I would back off and let my opponent come into the base and kind of get caught in this choke point. We have a Dominant Cocoon as well, becoming a Ray Lord, which appears to be like a Brood Lord variant. It is so sick looking. It has, oh, I see why it's called a Ray Lord. It has like rays, which are actually healing, the Zerg units. That is super sick. Now, it appears the refugee army packs a major punch, but I kind of understand why from a balance perspective. Like I said, it's a work in progress, and also balancing 30 races is just an insane concept. But you have a lot that you're committing to these units. You have to put in a worker in each of these, like, power suits. So it's almost like a couple units in one, on top of the fact that you actually have to, you know, build it and spend money to build it, and then, you know, commit a worker to it. So I understand why they do such crazy DPS, but it is interesting to see how much damage such a small force does. I mean, look at this. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. Meanwhile, we have the Ray Lord coming into the back of the third base location. And what does it do? 15 damage, and versus structure also 15 damage with a 0.14 attack speed. That is crazy. Ultimately does go down to those refuge cannons. This small strike force is still very much alive. Taking a look at what the combined Brood player is up to. These Raylords, they are so sick. They are so sick. Now, I can't remember if it's the combined Brood that has them, but you also have the option to build a Leviathan. I don't know if we're going to see it in this game, but I saw it in one of the games I was kind of vetting. Typically, I don't vet games, but because I'm not familiar with these races, I kind of looked a little bit ahead in some other games that I was kind of looking over when I was deciding what to cast, just because I'm like, what the hell am I looking at, man? You know what I mean? So this is going to be rough for our blue player. Looks like base number 2 is in a lot of danger right now. The dampener on the mineral line as well. How many workers killed this game? 62 workers killed at this point in the game by our red player. Base number 2 going down. Shark leaving the game, giving game number 2 to DJ. What a sick best of 3 series. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, please consider shooting me a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want me to cast any of your own games, I will leave my email and Discord in the description below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.